So really, this class has taught me a lot, and I've actually learned quite a bit through this class. It's very different from some of the other classes I have taken. Basically, the purpose of this speech is to review what I learned in this class, what it taught me, and my perception of sustainability. So what we basically reviewed, we talked about a lot of stuff. I really did like the forums, and the forums we learned about communication being ethnocentric. We talked about why raising social awareness is an ethnical concern, and we talked about communication in small groups and working in small groups, and how culture kind of shapes language, and how language is different to all of us. And then it'd be three main speeches. Was the informative speech, and mine was on pollution. The third speech was a persuasive speech, and I did mine on waste management. And the fourth speech was a conflict resolution. I did mine on the wind turbine farm being built that kind of caused issues. Now that I've talked about what we did, I'm going to talk about what I learned from it. It was more the forums I learned a lot of stuff about. In the forums, like communication being an ethnocentric activity, not everybody thinks that something is better about them. So, like some people, you could be talking about a different culture, and they'll completely ignore you because they think that their culture is so much better. And the raising of social awareness and why it's an ethnical concern. I thought it was important because it recognizes important issues in your community, and it brings them up for people to talk about, maybe to make your community better. In the small group communication forum, they brought up this thing called groupthink. And groupthink is basically when you're in a group and somebody speaks their mind, and everybody just goes along with what they do instead of having their own opinion. It also taught me ways that I can change what I do in the future when I do work with other small groups or even large groups. And then the last forum was how culture shapes language, or is mostly about language and how we use it. I thought that culture shapes language because, basically what you do depends on how you communicate with other people. That's basically that for how it taught me. I guess, that's not it. The speeches taught me a lot too. I researched stuff I didn't even know. There was a lot of stuff that I learned about, even pollution I didn't already know. There's light and noise pollution that I didn't even know existed. My waste management speech taught me a lot about being resourceful and using what I have instead of throwing away stuff that I could be recycling. And my fourth speech was on wind turbines and how useful they can be, but how big of a nuisance they can be at the same time. And now that I've talked about what it has taught me, I'll talk about my opinion on sustainability. Sustainability really is just sustainability. The word is the ability to endure, and there are four types of sustainability, and they're human, social, economic, and environmental. And this whole class was based on social sustainability, and social sustainability really was it didn't really have a real definition. Everybody had different opinions on it. And in the first assignment, everybody made their speech on what they thought it was, and everybody kind of had something different to say. And I kind of liked that. Everybody had their own perception of what it meant. And based on what they said and what my opinion was that its ability of a community to satisfy human needs, and their goal is to optimize quality of life. Some people had something way totally different, and some people had something kind of close to what I had. And that's what I like about this class in the forums, is that, you know, some people's stuff was way off, and you're like, whoa, I never thought about it that way. And some people kind of agreed with you, and you're like, oh yeah, I get what you're saying. So today I talked about what we reviewed in the class, what I learned from the class, and my perception of sustainability and how it kind of made an impact on me. And that's pretty much it.